Greetings, everyone, and welcome. November the 16th, 2025. I have breaking news for you coming directly from the front lines of Ukraine. I am communicating back and forth with a frontline hero who is a very good buddy of mine, and he is asking for me to share good news from Ukraine. As you can see by the thumbnail, you can see by the title, the maps are not always right. And sometimes when this information comes out, it puts pressure that Ukraine is losing so much ground and losing so much territory, but it's not always accurate. And over the next few minutes, I am going to correct some information. It is coming to me directly from Ukraine. I'm using a generic picture here, of course, President Zelensky looking at the map of Ukraine, stating, "Tell the truth. This is what the soldiers are telling me over the last few minutes." And I'm going to zoom into one spot on the map and show you how different it looks from very reputable mapping sources. But I have the inside story that I have been approved to share with you 100%. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing, liking, commenting, and subscribing. We're going to jump straight in. We're going to look at a particular section of the map and respected map organizations or groups, and we're going to see the difference. And then I'm going to tell you what I am permitted to tell you about a certain location, and you will see how patience is always necessary to get the full story. In addition to that, it's been a tough week with the corruption side, with the strikes on Ukrainian infrastructure. But today, Finnish President Stubb coming out with powerful statements about support for Ukraine and about what is needed to win this war. We've got good things to talk about on this Sunday as we begin a new week. Now, let's go straight to the maps, and we're going to start by first, I'm going to identify the locations in general we're talking about, which is the southern front. And we're going to also look at a certain town that's been in the news big time. Before we start, let me remind you what we're talking about here. This is the large mega city of Zaporizhia, large mega city of Dnipro, Pavlograd. This is the Pokrovsk battle. This is Konstantinivka. And then we are aware that, yes, Russia is making some gains along this southern front line. They're trying to get into Guliapol. They're trying to push up towards Orikov and, of course, put more pressure on Zaporizhia. But we're going to look in this section of the map at one particular place first. And it's going to be so interesting. My buddy messaged me. Of course, he watches all the videos. He says, "Greg, go in there and look at the maps and share this with people. Do not be so discouraged. Our boys are fighting. We're hanging hard, and not everything that's being told in the public is absolute truth." So the town we're going to look at is just between Pokrovsk and Guliapol. So Pokrovsk, let me do one more drawing for you, and I won't do this on the other maps. I just want you to see Pokrovsk here, Guliapol is down here, and we're going to look at this town right here that has been in the news. I even covered it maybe yesterday or the day before, and that is Novopavlivka. This is a huge story that, of course, I'm going to have inside info in here because the guys are sharing directly with me. But the map I'm looking at here is the Institute for the Study of War. Now, I'm not bashing any mapper. I'm not bashing anybody. But this is just for us to learn and to receive some encouragement. So here is Novopavlivka. This is the town that this map, the Institute for the Study of War, is actually showing that Russians actually are inside the southern portion and are controlling this southern portion, maybe 33% of Novopavlivka. That, I can tell you, is absolutely not true. Now, let's go to Live Map, and this is also looking at Novopavlivka. They're showing, and this is it's got English there as well. Look what they're showing. This is the same town. They are not showing this coming from this direction, control, but on the opposite, they're showing control coming in from the northeast and Russia holding about, 15, 20% of Novopavlivka? Guess what? That's not true either. And I'm not bashing on them. These are good mappers, but this shows you the reality of how it is impossible to call a zero line in this war anymore. Here is Institute for the Study of War. Here is Live Map. And we're going to now go to Deep State. And this is the 15th. This is their latest as of yesterday. Look at this, guys. Nothing. Zero red. Let me erase that. The other maps are showing either this portion under control or this portion under control. Deep State is saying, well, we've got a little gray area in the southern, meaning there has been Russian presence there. But guys, this is a completely different story. The line is not even close. If I measure, let's go to red to there. We're 8 kilometers. I know it's hard to see on there, but I'll draw it for you now. We are 8 kilometers from this red line just to the entrance of Novopavlivka. 8 kilometers. This is more of a real story. And my buddy messaged me and says, Greg, show the world the difference. This is what Live Map is showing. This is what Institute for Study of War is showing. This is what Deep State is showing. On this one, Deep State is accurate. He says, listen, over the last 48 hours, we have had 5 attacks in this area, and we've defended them all. Russia holds 0. That's not operational security. You're looking at it right here on the map. It's public information. And our guys are doing heroic in defending Novopavlivka. And guess what? The line is way back off of Novopavlivka. So please put it out there, share it, because so many people are saying we're losing this town and that town and this town. And even myself, I was talking about Novopavlivka. And I'm so thankful that I have these deep friendships and relationships with Ukrainian soldiers and frontline heroes that'll call me, message me and say, hey, dude, here's the exact information you need. And this is what you can share and how you can share it with the world. And everything that I have shared with you guys over the last 8 minutes is approved. I asked for specific permission. I asked for specific permission for the thumbnail title, everything. I want to always make sure that Ukraine is honored and we are protecting those guys there. Now, as we go forward in this week, I hope that is very helpful for you and, gives you a place where you can trust the information specifically down to that front there in Ukraine. But we need to look also at 3 statements that Alexander Stub made. He was out in drills with military. Listen, this guy's got a PhD. He is not a war veteran, a military veteran. And I really like this person. And the more I listen to him, it is obvious he is very sharp. Very sharp. I've been to Finland many times, and I love Finland. It's so beautiful and such a strong nation. And to all of our Finns that are in here viewing, salute to Finland. Even our friends up in Lapland. Oh, yeah, I know Lapland. So here we go, guys. We want to listen to Stub right now. 3 statements. Number 1, no ceasefire on the horizon.
I'm not very optimistic about achieving a ceasefire or the beginning of peace negotiations, at least this year. I mean, perhaps if we get something going by February, March, that would be good.
All right. So that's what we're looking at. Listen, it's winter. And what's interesting is, you know, it's been a lot of pressure with this energy corruption scandal that is happening in Ukraine. Zelensky fighting it, cleaning house, doing everything that he needs to do as Ukraine is breaking out still from this Soviet corrupt world. He's doing everything right. But what's one of the things that's very interesting, and forgive my voice, I lost my voice in the rain last night as my son won the football championship here in northwestern Pennsylvania, and they will now be going to states. So we're all screamed out. But what's interesting is, and the Ukrainians have been talking about, Kirill Dmitriev from Russia has been talking about it, and even some Europeans. The United States is saying pretty much nothing public about the corruption scandal. That's what it is that Ukraine is fighting against currently in the energy sector. Of course, the U.S. has enough to worry about with all the chaos that is happening inside my nation right now. But we won't talk about that right now, maybe some other time. Now, let's get to the second one. Stube, he doesn't play with it. He goes right after it and talks about the corruption.
President Zelensky right now is dealing with the fallout of a major corruption scandal in Ukraine, which has possibly undermined Ukraine's energy defences. Will this damage European and American support for Ukraine, do you think?
I think it's something that President Zelensky has to sort out very quickly, and he has started doing that. I haven't spoken about this particular case earlier, but obviously there's no place for corruption, especially in a country which is in war. And it does then, I think, play into the cards of a country like Russia, which of course is corrupt by definition. So I hope that things get sorted and cleared, and then we can continue our work in defending Ukraine.
That could not have been stated more perfectly, in my opinion. Very diplomatic, very educated, very accurate. Listen, you've got to fix it. They're working on it. I haven't spoken directly, but in Russia, who's the most corrupt, will definitely try to use this to their advantage. We need to get it all cleared up so we can continue to defend Ukraine. Kudos to you, President Stube. That's what you get. That's the perfect answer. Now, the last thing I need to cover is one more statement from Stube. So he goes from, I don't see any ceasefire. Let's fix the corruption. Let's get this cleaned up so that we can defend Ukraine. And let's not just defend Ukraine, but let's go green light ahead.
I think what we need to do is to give Ukraine the capacity to hit the military or defense industry of Russia, and whatever equipment then is needed for that. I think that's the key.
Boom, that's the key. I'll tell you what, I really like that guy. In fact, apologies, guys, I've lost my voice. But what's your thoughts on Stube there? And I'm also interested in the comments to see what are your thoughts on that map. I mean, for me, I was very grateful that my buddy messaged me and he says, Greg, here's the real deal. Get it out there and share it. And then I confirmed everything. And I hope that that is beneficial to you as you hunt for truth, not only in Ukraine, but also as we hunt for truth around the world as well. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing, liking, commenting, and subscribing. We appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great Sunday evening or Monday morning, wherever you are at.